He's angry about mortgages. It's Angry Mortgage. He's swearing. He's cursing loud. He's old. He's opinionated. And he's been doing this so damn long. This program is about mortgages, and this is mortgage advice, but the advice may not apply to your situation. Contact licensed mortgage professionals for specific recommendations before you make decisions about mortgages. You may not agree with Ron, but if you don't, he thinks you're wrong. Oh, and did we say there is a lot of swearing?
And we're back.
We're back.
It's getting still cold. It's the end of January. Everybody who wants a date stamp on the episode, fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
That's it. We've decided that. That's all there is to it.
We're just going to pretend it's Tuesday.
It's
live.
It's live on Tuesday, baby. We're taping live. Why would we tape? Anyway, so welcome back. Lots going on in mortgage world. We're going to hit it hard. The Bank of Canada Governor, my friend Tiff Macklin. I am not your friend, you fat son of a bitch. Yes, really, you don't know me. You really don't. But you are my friend, Tiff, because you have got the listeners and the viewers happy to hear the voice.
Yeah, the fan mail has spoken.
The fan mail has spoken. Hey, you want to know how bad it's going to get? You want to know how bad it's going to get? Okay. We've ordered a Tiff Macklin doll.
I was trying, I think it's creepy, but Jess was all for it, and I was like, fine.
So we're going to be, sometime in the next couple of weeks, we're going to eventually start cutting to shots of the Tiff doll when the voice goes on. So, I mean, could listen. What has happened here? It was unexpected. I didn't think the ridiculing of Tiff Macklin would be the highlight of the show for so many people.
You would, you'd think it'd be mortgages.
I don't get it. Yeah, but no, it's like, do the voice again. Do the voice. So anyway, we bought a doll. We're gonna
not that type of doll.
Not
Let's
that
specify.
Type of doll. It's a Tiff Macklin, but it's like a
puppet. A Muppet.
It's like a Muppet. Okay, hey, get all that dirty thinking out of your head. We would never do that. Okay, that was not something we would do. Okay?
No.
So that's coming. We're gonna have it soon. You're gonna be seeing it. Give us a couple of weeks. Jesus,
let us figure shit out.
Just started working on it today. So let us figure shit out. Let's get this. We will eventually have Tiff will eventually appear
on the show.
We're gonna call it Tiff's brother Cartier Macklin, okay? Instead of Tiffany Macklin, we're going to call it his twin brother Cartier, okay? So, that's Cartier Macklin is coming to the show. He's going to be here. And we're going to comb his hair the right way. We already ordered glasses for him, glasses for Cartier.
Full on.
We've lost our minds.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's coming. It's coming. Anyway, the actual guy, Tiff, Tiff Macklin, the Bank of Canada governor, waved the white flag. Mind you, he's not alone. Every central bank governor, every central bank boss in the world, the Europeans, Brits, pretty much the U.S., they've all agreed. No more rate hikes.
Yeah.
The rate hikes are over.
They have broken us.
We are broken. We are fucking broken.
We are just shattered glass.
Oh, how are we ever? We're just shattered glass in the gutter, and
they think we've had enough.
Our work is done.
Yeah, basically.
Our work is done. We've shattered the economy. Anyway, anyway. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
He ran up the white flag, says no more increases. So that begs the question: when are the cuts?
Hopefully soon.
Because there's only three things. There's going up, neutral, coming down. Okay, so what? And this is, by the way, I was listening to a great interview. My friend David Hurley on the Hurley Burley podcast had really the best, I think, the best economist in Canada in terms of, she is the best communicator, bar none. Okay, Frances Donald. Best communicator of all the economists in Canada. I like Ben Tell. He's good. He's funny. But Frances is a killer. She will make everybody understand how things work. And she said it's really bluntly, this is the fastest steepest, like most change from A to B, 0.25% to 5%. She says, this is the fastest in history. I've said it before, but she says it better. She says, no one of my generation, she looks in her 30s, maybe in her 40s. She says, no one in my generation has seen this. No one. No one has heard of this kind of interest rate increase.
Yeah.
And it takes 2 years for the real tremendous impact of rate increases from the day the first increase happened, which, by the way, is almost to the day. Well, not quite the day, but is almost exactly 2 years now. Okay, so is it 2? Anyway, it's close to 2 years. Bottom line is, it's very impactful. People felt it, and it's over now. It's not going up anymore. When do the cuts come? We've had this discussion before. Guesses are April. I'm not putting my money on April at all. I'm in the July, sort of June, July camp.
Yeah.
Which is where apparently, as of today, most of the bond traders are. Most of the bond traders are in the July, June camp. And that means, because this is the important thing, this is not an emergency, right? Like when they really jumped the rates, because there was one increase of 1% at once. Holy shit, we had that like 16 months ago. Yeah. And then 0.5%, and it was just hell's a popping. And it's the elevator on the way up, it's the stairs on the way down.
Yeah.
So 0.25% each time. You're only going to get 1% cut in this in 2024. So for everybody who's banking on variable rate, we get a lot of there's people talking about variable rate constantly. We get phone inquiries about variable rate. Well, it's going to go down 2%, right? Yeah, but it may take a long fucking time. Okay, like it may take. You may not get your 2% wish for 18 months. Okay, and you're paying a lot in between. Yeah. As I've said before, today to this minute, we're going to change as time goes by because new facts equal new ideas. Maybe 1 year fixed isn't bad. Like it's 7% something, 2 year. That's in the 6s mostly, very high 5s. Might not be a bad idea. Okay, because you're 6.4 today, and the beauty of having a 1 year is, even though it's expensive, you get to decide on every available rate with no penalty in a year. Yeah. And the timing could be pretty damn good. So let's just be clear about that. Again, everybody remember, when the rate cuts start, it's only 0.25% at a time. There's never going to be any 1% rate cut. By the way, if there is a 1% rate cut, we should all be scared shitless. Yeah. Okay, like seriously, a 1% rate cut, something's gone very, very, very fucking wrong if there's a 1% rate cut. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we got. That's what we had that in COVID. We had like 1% cuts in COVID, for fuck's sakes. Okay, that's as bad as it gets. All right. Can't get any worse than being locked into your fucking house. Right. So boring. Didn't you say you ended up locked in your house, and it was the first time you'd ever been locked up in your house for a while? Like you never worked from home, right?
No, I never worked from home prior to. And then, I worked for a telecommunication company. So we were at home for the first, I think, 4 or 5 months getting paid. You were locked up. So we were, but the good thing is I lived with my best friend at the time. So it was, a lot of failed TikTok dances. There was nothing else to do,
TikTok is like, screw all dances now, right? Like the dances are like 1%, 2% of TikTok now. Yeah. They're still dances.
Yeah. It's more in like the younger generation that are doing like the dances and stuff. Now it's just like my feed is like clean talk, like people cleaning, like cooking.
Whoa, stop. Clean talk. Like that's cleaning solutions, you mean?
Well, it's like a satisfying clean, It's like people who have a cleaning business and then they'll go to some grimy house and then they'll clean it and it's just like satisfying to see like the sink again.
Oh, so I'm going to guess it's two things. I'm going to guess it's the shock of how bad the house is, like half a hoarder house, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And then the cleaning people miraculously fix everything.
Basically,
okay?
basically.
All right. Yeah, okay. I think, by the way, for everybody who watches the show, you should know, and all you people in the mortgage business will probably be disappointed to hear, but I'm actually on TikTok. Okay.
You're doing great on TikTok, by the way.
TikTok, we just have a lot of fun. TikTok's a fun thing to do because you can say whatever the hell you want on TikTok. Weirdly, you have to have very careful replies on TikTok. You get in trouble for replies.
Oh, yeah?
But you can say basically whatever you want on TikTok. I mean, except about sex. Like, you can't say a word about sex on TikTok. Like, which is kind of a reflection on the ownership, right? The Chinese ownership.
Yeah.
Like, the Chinese in communist China, they try to pretend sex doesn't exist.
Right.
Okay. Like
right.
it is really, really pushed down.
Yeah.
As a repressive bunch of motherfuckers, the leadership of communist China. But anyway, yeah, you can't do any of that. All right. What's the fixed rate? We talked about the variable rate. No change. Got to wait. None of the prime rate, central bank related rates are going to change for a while. And once they start, it's going to be very slow. What's the fixed rate action? We discussed last week. It went up slightly. It's been on hold. We expect to see it come down. Once there's pure confirmation, we'll see fixed rates come down. And what's confirmation? Confirmation is lousy jobs numbers, lousy GDP numbers, and finally a better inflation report, a CPI report, Consumer Price Index report, where we see some, because it bumped up last month, we're going to see it come down a bit. As soon as we see that, combined with a bad jobs report where there's more unemployment, we are going to see rates falling again. And I kind of anticipate we'll see that in the next 6 weeks. Okay, so that's the story on fixed rates. What's the marketplace like? Like there's been a lot of calls, right? There's a lot of action.
A lot of pre-approvals.
A lot of pre-approvals.
Yeah.
Shit ton of pre-approvals. We got people coming out of the woodwork. We got people who got pre-approvals from us last year. And all of a sudden, I'm back. I never did anything.
Hey, is this still good?
No, the rate. We actually have a better rate, but we got to start all over again.
Yeah.
It's been a year. You'd be surprised. Like mortgages, lenders are a little fussy about that. They don't want to go from a year-old information. Okay,
right.
So anyway, we got to do. But yeah, there's a ton of action. We're reading anecdotally about hearing people talk about bidding wars. But here's the thing: the bidding war could be a little misleading, right? And when you hear people say sold in multiple bids. What if it's sold for multiple bids under a list price that was ridiculously low? Oh, and by the way, a lot lower than every house in the neighborhood sold a year ago.
Right.
So let's just pull out numbers. Let's say that last year, every house in the neighborhood a year ago, every house in the neighborhood was selling for $1.5 million.
Yeah.
And then this listing comes out for $795, just fucking crazy. Okay?
Yeah.
But the house does get bid up. There might be 8 or 9 bids, but then you find out some of the bids were below $795. Okay, and the winning bid was like $930.
Right.
Well, if all the other houses are selling for $1.5 million on the street a year ago, I guess that's a fuckathon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't a good result for anybody.
No.
Okay, so we got to be a little careful when we hear stories about multiple bids. We got to be a little careful when we hear about over asking, when they priced the ask so low that you had to get like a telescope to see it. Okay, in the basement. I mean, we got to. So. Will there be more sales activity, more real estate sales activity in Ontario? Alberta's always been doing good.
Yeah.
BC did a little better last year. It was not a great year in BC, but I hear that things are picking up a little in BC. But here's the deal. Will there be more sales activity in 2024 than 2023? More houses sold in Ontario? Probably. I mean, it was the lowest sales year in 25 years.
Right.
Now, it doesn't look like we're going to have a great year. Like on average, there's about, typically in Ontario, there's about 6,000 homes sold in January, which obviously, like, it's just fucking freezing, okay, or storming, or some people don't think too much about buying homes. Okay,
no.
They do get pre-approvals, but they don't go out and look at. So anyway, slow month. Looks like it's going to be below that average, but it generally looks like there might be more action this year. But folks, listen to me. The doesn't mean that prices are going up.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean,
No.
if it's a perfect house in a perfect neighborhood in the best street, sought after, people hadn't sold for 15 years, and the house is in perfect shape.
Right.
If everything is just totally perfect, you might get a decent price on it. I think it's definitely still going to be less than you would have gotten in the last 2 years, right?
Right.
In 21, for sure, it's going to be a lot less.
Yeah.
Okay. So prices, we don't know the answer to whether prices are going to go up or not. Okay. There's going to be some upward pressure, just the fact that we stopped building. I mean, like
That alone.
like it's just this most of last year, like all the projects that were underway completed, the ones that weren't burnt down. Remember when they were burning down all those fucking
It was
houses?
like a trend.
What the? And then they caught those guys. They caught those guys running out. They even unbelievable.
The
like,
cameras, yeah.
burning fucking houses down. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's bizarre. So provided they weren't burnt down, once they finished what they had, and they sort of quit building.
Yeah.
Like, there's no new phases. So.
Well, it's so expensive.
Well, and the interest was so high, right?
Yeah.
And the uncertainty of who's going to buy. I got to tell you one thing. I guarantee you on the show, you're going to hear in the future stories about construction not closing. I mean, we gave one a couple of weeks ago. We got more coming. I'm telling you, we got people with new construction problems. So they get the house is finished and the mortgage doesn't work anymore. Okay. And the value doesn't work anymore. I guarantee you a bunch more stories about that for sure. But that's in the future. All right. So we do get a lot of viewer mail. Like, I mean, we get it from all different sources too. It's not just on this show. We get viewer mail on the YouTube channel for other things, not just this YouTube channel, but we got other features we do on the YouTube. Get mail on those.
We get the DMs.
They slide into my somehow they slide into my DMs. So we got what does that mean anyway? What does that actually mean in young people talk? What does sliding into your DMs actually mean?
It literally just means that they messaged you. But like the term slide is like they're being like they snuck into your DMs to like hit you up and try and hit on you or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Nobody ever slides into my DMs. I'll just announce that to everyone. No one's sliding into my DMs. Anyway, but we get little messages on
the answer bag.
We got the answer bag going, but we get from everywhere. We get them on Instagram. We get questions. We get questions on TikTok. We get questions.
We got
Twitter.
a question from when somebody goes to our website and they fill out like a mortgage inquiry.
Yep.
We get a few from there too.
Yeah, we even get some questions there. Yeah, like we get fan mail sometimes.
We got
right?
fan mail from there.
We get fan mail on our
so-
website. Yeah, we get fan mail on the website.
They find us everywhere.
Yeah, they're there. Anyway, we love to answer the questions. Let's hear some questions.
All right. So this one says H&R Block is doing my taxes.
Oh, that's a disaster. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
They said
Don't sue me, H&R Block, you fuckers. Okay.
Watch
Jesus,
what you say. They said I shouldn't put money into my FHSA, the first time home buyer savings account. I should put it in my RRSPs instead, but I want to buy a house.
That's a pretty good question. I got to tell you, that's a legitimate question. And here's the sort of ambiguous answer. The same answer every fucking financial advisor, which I am not. Okay, I am a mortgage guy.
Disclaimer.
But that's full disclaimer. But it's the same. Like every financial question, every fucking financial advisor answers everything in the same way. Well, it depends. That depends. Okay. So yeah, in this case, it actually does depend. So here's H&R Block may not be wrong. Okay. So let's say this. You're not going to buy a house for a long time. Okay. Or you may never be able to buy a house. Okay.
In this economy.
You analyze, your parents are never going to give you a gift. You're never going to, your best bet of like, if you don't make, what it takes to buy a house in the GTA now?
Like $200,000
average. Exactly.
per person.
Well, not that bad. Okay, not that bad. But it's like it's $216,000 of gross family income to buy the average house in GTA. I mean, sweet Jesus Christ, that's nuts. So, if you're somebody who's not married, not in a relationship, making $55,000 a year, no help from your parents.
Yeah.
You may never own a house. Like that. That's
It's
just
the
life.
sad reality.
It's a very fucking sad reality. Yes. Okay. So maybe H&R Block's right. Maybe you need, because here's the big difference. You everyone will retire.
Right.
If you're not dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, if you make it to retirement, knock on wood, or some kind of composite here. Anyway.
Look the other way.
Look the other way. So if you're going to retire, like in theory, everybody's going to retire.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But not everybody's going to own a home. Mm-hmm. So H&R Block may not be crazy. Okay. Like it's, they can see that you're making $55,000 a year and you're not partnership with anybody and, not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that could be a reasonable answer.
Right.
But for anyone who has a rational belief that they will save up and make a down payment for a home, then the answer is no. If you have a rational belief, you will be that person. You have a definite plan. You and your spouse, you and your partner have a definite plan that in 5 years, this is our goal. We're going to save for it. Yes, absolutely. First time homebuyer savings account, great. Okay, that's absolutely what you should do. So for that scenario, H&R Block, wrong as fuck. Okay, but for a scenario of, hey, you're never going to have a house. Okay, then H&R Block is probably right.
Like they say, it depends.
It depends. They're right. It depends.
All right. High ratio mortgage rates are much lower than conventional with a 20% down payment. Why is this? Why doesn't everyone just take high ratio?
Well, good question. Quick analysis of that. High ratio, of course, means that you're paying less than 20% down as a down payment, but you also have to fit in a lot of other categories too. The property purchase has to be less than $1 million. You have to hit very, very specific debt ratios. You have to have certain kind of credit or standing. So it's very specific. So, but yes, less expensive. In many cases, it's 30 basis points, like more than 0.25%. Cheaper forever. That's your interest rates are lower with that high ratio mortgage. But you are paying a shit ton of insurance premium.
Right.
Now, for all my friends out there I got friends who are working at mortgage insurers. We still love you and you're wonderful and we're blessed that you're in our business. And so don't take it the wrong way. But it's a shit ton. I mean, it is a lot of money. Like if you got to get a $600,000 mortgage with high ratio with the smaller down payment, well, that could be as much as $38,000 of insurance premium. And that, yes, you don't write the check for it, but in some ways, it might be worse. It's added to your mortgage and you're going to pay interest on it.
Exactly.
Okay? Like, I mean, so yeah, work the math. Whenever we look at the math, whenever somebody says to us, well, maybe I should just put like 19.9% down and get a high ratio mortgage. Yeah, I mean, the math is not bad for the first. It's actually never good. I mean, like, and particularly over time,
right?
When you're paying the interest on that big insurance premium, the math does not support it.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, if you want to buy a house over $1 million, then it's not even available.
Right.
So the correct answer is no. If you have 20%, do 20%. That's really what the math tells us. Okay.
All right. This one says, my accountant says it's very complicated to deduct the interest from my existing condo when I move to my new townhouse and to just rent the condo out. He said I should sell it to myself. This sounds crazy. What's up?
Well, yeah. So let's just try to paint the example properly. So this is someone who's currently bought a townhouse and they own that townhouse. And when you're in an owner-occupied property, that the sale of that is tax-free. There's no capital gains assessed to that. You have a number of advantages for being in your primary residence. But then when you convert that property that's been your primary residence, so you say, I'm going to buy my townhouse, I'm going to rent out, I'm going to keep the condo and rent it out. Okay? Well, now transitions from being your primary resident to being a rental property and a new property is your primary residence. So the idea of selling it to yourself, I guess just have to assume that the accountant was on the edibles. Like it was just high as fuck. Okay. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all. But then you never know. Like, sometimes people are not really talking to an accountant. Maybe it's a tax preparer or something like that. Don't sue me, H&R Block, please. Fuck, do not sue me. I say enough shit gets sued often enough. But please, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is it's just wrong. Okay. Look, yes, it was formerly a tax-exempt residence, and now it's not. what happened from when you bought it to what it's worth today. There's something called crystallization of capital gains value. But look, we got to put all that aside. Let's just address the key issue. If you're renting that place out and you have a mortgage on it, I mean, you can prove you're renting it, right? Like, there's tenants in there. You're not there. There's tenants in there. They're paying your rent.
Yeah.
Well, then the mortgage interest is deductible. It has to be. Now, all the rest of it, like trying to analyze, where's the capital gains stop and start because you bought it 5 years ago at a lower value than it is today, I'm going to leave that to somebody else. I mean, because not only am I not trained in that area, I also don't know what the fuck I'm talking about too. So it's a perfect match. Like, I have no training, I have no accreditation, and I understand there's an implication, but I'm not going to worry about it. But somebody can figure it out.
Yeah.
Somebody can say, yes, you left at this point, the value X, now new value Y, this is the new starting point, and whatever, okay? But don't hire a lawyer to sell the fucking thing to yourself. That's just crazy talk, okay? But yes, you will be able to deduct the interest. It's just a question of getting the capital gains assignment right. Now, I know we're going to get about 2 or 3 comments doing multi-paragraph answers about from people who want to give a textbook answer on that. I say, well, Ron, you might not know, but I sure as fuck know, and I'm going to take up 8 paragraphs of comment space and no, fuck, we don't really need that. Okay, let's leave it to the actual professionals who are like real CAs and CPAs. Let's go. Let's have them.
Let's
decide,
leave it
please.
to the professionals.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's leave it to the professionals. Okay, so I always talk about the fact that house prices in Canada are batshit crazy. Like, right? I mean, that's like, I'm famous for that.
Yeah.
Somebody else actually used that phrase.
Should have trademarked it.
No, that's okay. Because it's a sort of a friend of mine's site. It's better. It's not Better Dwelling. It's Better Dwelling. I think it might be Better Dwelling. Not quite sure. But yeah, it's Better Dwelling. And they run a good operation there. They post a lot of interesting stuff about housing, and they said it right there. Price of houses batshit crazy, but it's my friend's site, so I'm going to say it's
fine.
it's a compliment. It's a compliment that my catchphrase is being used in other places. It's always good, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, batshit crazy house prices. But we're going to just start to talk about some of the things that. And we're going to revisit this every couple of weeks, that the high price of ridiculously high prices of houses in Canada. We see chart after chart and study after study about that versus all kinds of other countries. Crazy high prices here. Maybe Australia's worse, but maybe not. Okay, but also batshit crazy. How the high price of housing, which obviously leads to high rents, right? That's just one follows the other. Ruins everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not fucking around here, okay? Like, it ruins fucking everything.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's talk about one thing it ruins. We're going to do a bunch, but today is one thing. You ever heard of a birth rate?
Yeah.
What do you think a birth rate is?
Terrible compared to the boomer generation.
It's fucking terrible. So exactly. So a birth rate is what is the reproduction of kids by the women in the country. And because, like, you can all get mad at me or not, I just am never sold on the idea men are giving birth. Okay, no matter what anybody says. Okay, I'm not Dave Chappelle. Don't come after me, trans people.
Don't
please
cancel him.
don't cancel me. But I'm going to say women give birth.
Right.
Okay. And it's the rate by which they give birth. So right now, and it's a calculation. Anyway, the replacement birth rate anywhere, just to keep up, just to stay ahead, just to stay even. If you got a country with 40 million people in it, just to stay even, if you have no immigration at all, you need 2.1 as a birth rate, just to stay even.
Yeah.
Okay. We're 1.3.
Ooh.
I think Italy is like 1.2 and Japan is like 1.19 or something. Anyway, it ain't good. Okay. And let me tell you, Japan's got a problem because they got no immigration. Like, they got this tiny trickle of immigration into Japan, and they are almost 50% below replacement rate.
Yikes.
People everybody loves Japan. Like I've never met a single person who went to Japan that didn't love it. Okay, so, no bullshit. Like I know people who make it a point of going back over and over and over because they love it so much. Okay, but they tell me sometimes when they out in the countryside, like there's just empty towns.
Wow,
fucking empty because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Now that's two things: is people move into the big cities, which is normal. That's the way things go. But there's like.
There's no kids running around.
No kids.
There's no schools being built.
No, schools are like being converted to
shut down.
Well, they're being converted to like senior centers. Okay, I mean, it's weird.
Yeah.
So, it's a low birth rate, and this is a great study that was done, worldwide study that was done about the correlation of very high house prices, very high housing costs, to birth rates. And guess what? You can measure it easily. Okay? Like, look, it boils down to this. There's a much higher percentage of reproduction amongst people who own homes. Young people who own homes. Does that make sense to you?
Of course, because they have the security. They have that stability. Imagine trying to have a family in a 1-bedroom condo. Woohoo! Especially like the condos in Toronto. They're like the size of matchboxes. What did you call them? Dog crates in the sky?
Dog crates in the sky.
Like imagine trying to chase around a toddler in like a 500 square foot place. Like that sounds like hell. And there's people who are doing it and kudos to them. But like shit, the majority of us don't want to because that's not a life.
I love that. I love that. Sounds like hell. That sounds like hell on earth. A toddler in a 485 square foot dog crate in the sky. That's hell. Okay.
Yeah. It's just so difficult to want to start a family when there's no space to have a family.
But that's the point. Batshit crazy house prices ruin everything.
Everything. It's like trickling effect. Like what do we call it? Domino effect, as always.
Yep. It ruins. This is just one example of people not having kids. And so everybody who wants to bitch and moan about immigration, wake the fuck up, okay? Like your country will be empty eventually without immigration. Right? There'd be nobody there, all right?
Yeah.
Like 1.3% birth rate ain't anything like good, okay? Nothing, nothing, okay? So it's an indication that people, now everybody wants to argue with me. They say, oh no, Ron, you're wrong. What it really is people want to live a different life without children, and many people, what the hell? Like, honestly, like
there's a percentage of people who don't want kids, but not
a lot, okay?
Not to this extreme.
Not to this extreme.
No.
Where we're running at half of replacement, okay?
Yeah.
It's the fucking house prices, guys, okay? That's what it is. You can't buy a house. You can't even make that first step on the economic security ladder. Yeah, you're not going to have a family. I mean, I can actually track it. The people the young people I know who are having kids own houses, or they just ran out of time. Like it was the woman was 36 and it was now or never. Clock. It was now or never. We got to do it. So
yeah. Listen, if I could buy a home, I would probably have a kid by now. And it's sad that like I'll talk to my partner and we'll be like, oh, we could have a kid now, but then that delays us buying a home for another 10 years because of the economic, market. We're just like, so should we have a kid or should we have a down payment? And that's something that you probably in your whole generation never had to, question.
You are correct. Okay, because here's another angle on that. Like rents are a small fortune here too. In the big cities like Toronto, Vancouver, even by the way, the rents in Calgary are up through the roof.
Yeah.
Okay? And
Alberta's calling worked.
It worked. It filled the place up, and now the rents are gone through the roof. And the rents are up everywhere in Canada. The people in the I get messages from the Maritimes all the time. When I talk about the fact that Maritimes rents are way up, I get those messages. I get, goddamn rights they are, some bitch, okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a fact. So, so how are you going to have, like when I was young, and kids were coming along, rents weren't expensive. Rents were not unmanageable like they are today. They weren't small fortunes on tiny places. Okay.
Yeah.
You could have a townhouse, rent a townhouse for like rational, livable, didn't eat up your whole salary. So you could think about having kids and then plan for it, but
Yeah.
It's
not as feasible as it used to be.
Ruins everything. High house prices ruin everything. All right. So what's the fix? We're gonna talk about fixes too. I'm going to talk about fixes for the next few weeks. How do we fix this housing? Because everybody says, Ron, you're the negative fucker. You're so negative. You're negative about anything. You never have solutions. All right, fuck you. I'll give you a solution.
With the solutions.
What's a solution? We're going to start with one solution. There's many ways to fix this. And probably need a bunch of them. But let me start with one. And the one is, why the fuck are development fees and the costs of building a new home, like a brand new home, whether it's a new condo building, new condo tower, condo townhouse, single.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are they so high? Because take the example of Toronto, when you even buy that dog crate in the sky, the 485 square foot dog crate in the sky, for $480,000, $520 resale. I don't know. Those prices are kind of falling right now.
Yeah.
Of a new place, of a brand new home, 30% of the price is given to government.
Robbery.
One way or another. Like in development fees, they have a million stupid little fucking fees. Like, for instance, your development's over 6 units. You must pay a support fee for a park. And you say, wait, what the fuck? Like I'm on the corner of it's all concrete around me. Like, where's this park? Oh, don't worry about where it is. It's a park. And you must, what the fuck? Okay.
A little parks and rec fee.
No bullshit. Like, I mean, literally they fee you to death. There's every kind of fucking fee for the developer. There's taxes on tax, okay? Like, there's a tax on every fucking thing. And then, like, it's huge. It's 30% on average, 28 to 30% of if you buy a new build, the consumer is paying the borrower, the buyer. It's about 30% tax, fees, levies, you name it. That's what you're paying. Okay. So, and now people say, well, wait a minute, Ron, you can't reduce that. All the municipalities are broke. Yeah, they're broke because they spend too much fucking money. Okay. They waste money. they piss money down both legs. Like, fuck yeah, they're broke. But here's my point. Yeah, there's been property tax increases. I come back to this over and over. Why are we, because by the way, when they say it's a development fee, because you got to cover the work you're doing, you got to cover the water and the this and the that and the new facilities we have to deliver for you for your new home. Guess what? You're building a condo tower downtown. Somebody paid for that already. Oh no, but we got to increase it. Yeah, by $1 jillion because you got 30% to every house.
Yeah.
Like, and they proved it too. They proved it's just a lie. Like at least 70% of the money goes into general revenues. Wow. So in other words, it's being used like we're taking people who want to buy a home and charging them tax to keep the property tax on people who've lived in a house for 30 fucking years low, okay? Like, they've been enjoying the use of all the services for 30 fucking years. They've enjoyed it. So, yeah, you want to get the price of houses down? Hey, province, you're in charge of this shit. Ford Nation, wake the fuck up, okay? It's time to tell every fucking municipality, particularly the ones who are charging an arm and a leg for development fees on new homes. No, you're going to have to change your fucking model. We are going to ban it. Yeah, you can charge, instead of 30% of the cost, you can charge 8, 9. You can't charge fucking 30. You're fucking crazy. It doesn't even make sense, okay? So you want fixes? I got fixes, okay? Which takes us to our favorite part of the program.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah, what the actual fuck? We had an announcement this week. The Liberal government, federal Liberal government cabinet was in a cabinet retreat. They went to a big retreat in Montreal, stayed in a beautiful hotel, lots of nice meals, free booze, like everybody was all good. And there were many stupidities came out of that one, okay? But here is possibly, here's what happened. They had a retreat 6 months ago where they went into this retreat in the Maritimes and, ate the lobster rolls, drank champagne, and then they decided, no announcements. We're just going to talk about shit and go home. Okay?
Oh, nice.
Nice, yeah. But no announcements, no decisions, no nothing. So now this time, they got their asses kicked over it, completely. Oh yeah, you had to retreat and fuck all happened.
Yeah.
What did you do there besides eat lobster rolls and fucking drink champagne and?
So this time they had to shit something out.
They had to dish something up. So here comes Dominic LeBlanc. Dominic LeBlanc is the public safety minister. Smart guy, absolutely smart guy, and friend of Justin's. Okay, longtime associate of Justin Trudeau. Smart guy, does a good job. But they saddle him with this fuckathon, okay? Car theft. He's going to work on car theft. Because people in the key places where the Liberal Party gets elected, like Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, big cities, like in Toronto, I've run whole fucking episodes of this show on car theft, for fuck's sakes. My son's car was stolen. Everybody I know's car was stolen. A friend of mine's car was stolen twice. Okay,
people are installing those poles that come up from their from the floor into their driveway,
out of the ground.
Yeah,
they got a name. They're called bollards. Okay,
my God.
And they're having these bollards installed in their driveways, and they're kind of trying to wall off their fucking driveway to save their vehicle from being stolen. I physically fucking personally know people. A lot of pops in that one, but personally, people who've had their car stolen twice in 6 months in Toronto. Fucked up. And
their car's probably somewhere in Africa right now. Was it West Africa that we saw that story from last time?
Well, there was the more recent story. This guy had installed a hidden, deep in the car.
The AirPod one, right?
What do they call them? AirTags.
AirPods.
So he started, AirPod's a good thing too. But he installed these AirTags.
Yeah.
And the car disappears one night. Wakes up in the morning, car's gone. And he could see the car is moving. So he starts to call the cops. The cops say, not much you can do. What the fuck? Okay.
I have the precise location, but that's not enough.
But then the car stops and it's in a train yard. Car's in a train yard north of Toronto. We can go grab it. No, we can't do that. We can't find the train. We can't find where it is. We don't know. No. Okay, fine. So the train starts moving. Naturally, you can see it moving. And of course, where does it go? It goes to Port of Montreal. Yeah. That's where it goes, okay? And they says, it's in the Port of Montreal. It's stopped there. You got to do something fast. It's going to get shipped out of Canada. Nope, fuck all we can do, says the cops. It's now a different province. We're not even jurisdiction. Shit, okay. So then it ends up finally, he got a friend to take it because it was in Dubai. It was on a used car lot in Dubai. He got his friend to take a picture of it. His friend in Dubai to take a picture of it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, found one. So anyway, Dominic LeBlanc, federal minister of public safety, comes out and says, hey, we got a problem with car theft in Canada.
2 years later, but sure.
Bit fucking behind the times, Dominic. Okay, that's a 2-year-old. That's been people been losing their fucking minds about car theft for two full fucking years.
Yeah.
So he comes out and says, well, we know it's a problem for Canadians. We know people in the big cities are having trouble with car theft. So we want to do something. So I'm thinking, oh, good, they want to do something. And then he hits you with, we're going to have a meeting. Fuck you! Are you fucking nuts? Okay, what the fuck, a meeting? Yeah, we're going to have a meeting to coordinate different task forces, police forces. A fucking meeting, you fuckers. I hope you have a bunch of fucking consultants at your meeting too. Why don't you hire fucking your friends and the consultants to have a meeting talking. You're doing fucking nothing. Look.
Nothing.
Fucking stupid. Okay, just do something. Just say, we're going to plant 250 RCMP in the fucking Port of Montreal. We're going to look at every fucking container.
Yeah.
If we find the fucking cars, we're going to investigate. We're going to put 150 people in the Port of Vancouver. Oh, and this is what the comments we're going to get. We're going to get these comments now. Oh, Ron, you don't understand. There's a jurisdiction problem. Fuck that! Fuck it! We know the cars are all going to one place.
It's a nationwide issue. Why?
Just find a fucking way. Cut through the fucking red tape. Make something happen, you fuckers. Okay? Just go there. 250 cops in the Port of Montreal. Check every fucking container. Open the fuckers up. Oh, here's a car. Here's a Land Rover. Let's say
here's one that's reported stolen.
Oh, look at that. It's stolen. Okay. Because here's the thing. If you take the fucking profit out of it, it's all going to one place. It's going to Vancouver. It's going to Montreal. Getting shipped offshore.
Only 2 ways out.
Only 2 ways out. And that's the ones. Cut it off. Well, they can go back to slinging dope. Those guys who were stealing it can go back to slinging dope. I don't mind. By the way, that's another rant we're going to have about why the fuck did the weed prices stay up. Okay? Hold on. Like, seriously. Dominic LeBlanc, federal government, smarten the fuck up.
Do better.
Do better. The answer to fucking every problem is not a fucking meeting. Do something. All right? Thanks, folks. See you next week.
If you like the pod, well, don't just sit there. Go to YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all the other ones and like the pod. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep being angry at mortgages and swearing about mortgages. Angry Mortgage could use your support.